Dead men tell no tales, but their ships speak volumes. Welcome to the Cursed Compass, where we explore the darkest maritime mysteries. There is a story from 1854 about a brand new ocean liner that sailed out of Liverpool and straight into the blinding sea fogs of the North Atlantic. It never arrived at its destination. The ship was simply swallowed up by the gray haze, leaving no survivors to explain what went wrong. Over time, sailors traded whispers about the vessel's fate. The most chilling version claimed another ship eventually stumbled upon the wreckage, drifting aimlessly through the ice. According to the legend, the boarding party found the entire crew still at their stations, frozen completely solid in the bitter cold. It makes for a terrifying campfire story, but the actual historical events behind this maritime legend are entirely different, and the truth is far more compelling than the myth. The vessel behind the ghost story is the SS City of Philadelphia. It did indeed suffer a doomed maiden voyage in 1854, striking the rocky coast of Newfoundland. But there were no frozen corpses drifting in the ice. In reality, all 540 passengers and crew survived the wreck. 0 lives were lost. A massive, fully loaded steamship barreling into jagged rocks of 10 knots should have been a mass casualty event. To understand how hundreds of people cheated death that night, we have to look at the radical engineering decisions that built the modern ocean liner. By the mid-19th century, the Inman Line built a highly profitable business by transporting working-class Europeans migrating to America. As you can see in this illustration of steerage class, conditions were cramped and communal, prioritizing maximum capacity over luxury. To meet the surging demand of this emigrant trade, the company ordered the City of Philadelphia from the Todd and McGregor shipyard in Scotland. They made a crucial structural choice. Instead of building the hull from traditional wood, they used wrought iron plating. This cross-section diagram shows how that iron framework allowed for a vital safety innovation: watertight compartments. These were sections of the ship's lower deck separated by solid iron walls. You can see them highlighted here as 5 distinct vertical bulkheads dividing the space. Look at what happens if the outer hull is breached. As water fills only this front section, the iron bulkheads hold the ocean back. The rest of the ship remains dry, preserving enough buoyancy to keep the vessel afloat. On August 30th, 1854, the City of Philadelphia departed Liverpool. Below deck were hundreds of immigrants hoping to start new lives in the United States. They were relying on unproven iron technology to safely navigate the unpredictable and hostile environment of the North Atlantic. On September 7th, the ship approached the coast of Newfoundland. The area around Cape Race is notorious for its treacherous currents and blinding fogs, which quickly enveloped the vessel, stripping the crew of their visibility. At 11 p.m., the crisis hit. Lookouts suddenly spotted white water breaking directly ahead in the dark. They were sailing straight into a rocky point. Captain Robert Leitch immediately ordered the 350 horsepower steam engines thrown full astern. But an iron ship weighing over 2,000 tons carries massive momentum. The engines could not arrest their forward motion in time. The bow slammed directly into the submerged rocks of Cape Race. A traditional wooden hull would have splintered and shattered under the blunt force trauma of that impact, likely sinking the ship in minutes and taking the passengers down with it. The iron hull crumpled, but it didn't disintegrate. Still, Captain Leitch quickly realized the ship's pumps were failing to keep up with the water pouring into the breached compartments. The vessel could not survive in the open ocean. He backed the sinking ship off the rocks, steered 6 miles north, and deliberately drove it onto a sandy beach at Chance Cove. This image of the wrecked vessel shows exactly how he wedged the ship securely against the shoreline. Resting on the sand, the ship stabilized. With the help of local residents, all 540 passengers and crew calmly evacuated via lifeboats to the shore without a single injury. The strength of the iron plates and the delayed flooding from the bulkheads bought Captain Leitch the exact minutes he needed to execute the beaching maneuver. The engineering worked, turning a guaranteed fatal trap into a 100% successful rescue. Despite the safe evacuation, the City of Philadelphia was battered beyond repair by the surf and declared a total loss. The cargo was ruined, and the destruction of a brand new vessel placed a severe financial burden on the Inman Line. This chart mapping the maritime disasters of 1854 reveals the root of the ghost story. Look at these 2 distinct events. In the fall, the Philadelphia wrecks safely. But earlier that spring, the company's sister ship, the City of Glasgow, suffered a very different fate. The Glasgow sailed from Liverpool in March and entirely vanished. 480 people disappeared into the Atlantic, leaving behind 0 wreckage and 0 survivors. The loss of the Glasgow horrified the public. These back-to-back disasters severely eroded trust in screw-propelled ships, threatening the iron steamer industry. Over decades, public memory merged the events. The terrifying disappearance of the Glasgow blended with the foggy shipwreck of the Philadelphia. The campfire legend of a frozen ghost ship adrift in the fog was simply a collective processing of 2 separate 1854 traumas. The Inman Line weathered the financial losses by leasing their surviving ships to the military during the Crimean War. They recovered their capital and eventually dominated the transatlantic emigrant trade, proving the viability of their iron vessels. The SS City of Philadelphia is absent from the paranormal history books because there are no ghosts to report. Instead, the wreck stands as a testament to structural engineering and a captain's quick thinking, which kept 540 people alive against the odds.